Hello, welcome in, Original Soul. Thanks for being here, for bringing your energy to this affirmation reading. All right, let's jump into it, shall we? Got some oracle cards out. We'll add tarot to it, see what information is coming through. I hope you're doing well. All right, we'll get into it here. So up at the top, 3 cards wanted to come out together. Let's see, we've got the curse, sacrifice, and reverse Pachamama. These are a lot of somewhat similar energies to the 3 cards that came out at the top of the reading last week, although I was using different decks. But the curse talks about things that you feel might be holding you back. You can see she's got these beautiful kind of brown, grayish color eyes, but there's something, it looks like, over her mouth, sort of like she's being covered up, preventing from speaking. So this could be something that you just feel you are stuck with or that's holding you back. Maybe you do have something that you feel like you've just sort of been handed down or cursed with from your family or your ancestors. This could either be something physical with the body, like a trait, or some kind of maybe sickness or illness, disease, or maybe this is some sort of mindset that you've learned, possibly unintentionally, either from parents, grandparents, just previous experiences, either of your own or, again, members of your family or people that have come before you. So a lot of that sort of energy here up at the top, and then at the center was sacrifice. So last week, the card out of this deck was soul retrieval, and it was a beautiful kind of moth or butterfly coming out of a cocoon. And I don't know if you can see, it looks like she's sort of examining now that butterfly that is kind of flying out of her hands. It's almost like she's released it and let it go. So again, that does speak to some sort of past energy. Butterflies also represent transformation, and they are a common symbol too for maybe ancestors or spirits kind of visiting you or kind of sending you a signal or a symbol. So that's coming through as well. And again, that was kind of some strong energy last week too, kind of gaining inspiration and wisdom from those past experiences. But again, I'm just really focused on how she looks like she's sort of examining that and setting it free, working to release that. So I don't know if there is something either you felt like you have had to sacrifice. Maybe that is for either your family or whatever maybe this curse card might be related to. Maybe there's ways that you act or even the way you might have structured your life for feelings of maybe responsibility or just driven in certain ways. That may have been, again, not really your truest desires or intentions, but sometimes we're acting in ways that we think are right or that we're supposed to, again, from those past experiences. And then again, when sacrifice comes in, if you feel like you have given up a lot or you've had to give up a lot, or maybe you've lost out on something, Pachamama is all about abundance, Mother Earth, Gaia, who is always providing for us, right? Are we always kind of giving back and nurturing her? So definitely do something nice for your environment this week. Make some good choices in that way. Maybe even go out of your way and do something extra special to care for nature this week. But with this being in reverse, instead of that feeling of abundance and nurturing, this is more than feeling that lack, feeling left out, feeling abandoned, not nurtured, right? Cast aside, perhaps. So all of this up at the top of the reading, this could be right? Something that either you are thinking about currently or that is driving some of your thoughts or your patterns or your behaviors, right? So with this at the center, taking definitely a closer look at that, maybe releasing some of those burdens. And then in the center here, Gemini, number 15, I think. So if you have been following along and watching these affirmation readings for the past few weeks, first of all, thank you again for being here. I do appreciate you. But this Gemini card has come out a couple times. And I don't always use the same decks every week, kind of a combination of a few with the Oracle cards that I really like. Kind of use whatever I feel drawn to in the moment. So Gemini energy is about expression, communication. It's the twins. It's associated with the Lovers card in tarot. So that's about choice, unity, relationships, decisions, indecisions. It can be about restlessness. This has come out, as I mentioned, a couple times in the past, but it's always been up at the top. So we've had the I think card up in sort of the mind or head position of the reading. And so now that this has moved down to the center, more of the heart space of the reading, right, that could be getting a little bit more of your mind-heart coherence, getting those two things more lined up instead of being at odds and feeling opposition, right, doing one thing, wanting another, or vice versa. Right now, kind of examining those patterns or those decisions, those things that you feel like you have to do, or maybe look at areas where you do really feel like you have had to sacrifice something and take a closer look at that to get really more in touch then with what would it look like if you weren't sacrificing? What would your life be structured like? What would you be doing differently? I was just going to say maybe there's time to express something as my throat starts to get acting up here. And then again, just noticing with this curse card, again, sort of that handprint over her mouth. This can be you keeping something quiet, holding yourself back. Maybe there are things that you've wanted to say that you have not said, that you have not expressed, that you have not shared for whatever reason. Now maybe that is something that is opening up. Maybe that is something that can heal some of this sort of curse or stuck energy, right? Especially when you start examining, again, what would that look like if you didn't feel like you were sacrificing? What things would you have going on? Would you feel more nurtured? Would you feel like you would have more abundance? Right? What do you feel like you are missing in that respect? And then also reminding yourself that you are always nurtured and cared for. You do have your ancestors, and you do have Mother Earth, and you do have yourself as well. Even if maybe a close support team isn't something that you have in your experience right now, right? We all have different levels of support, different family dynamics, different levels of friendships, relationships, partnerships, and those sorts of things. So with this, again, being at the heart, is there a little bit of restlessness that you've had, or maybe some indecision with the heart? Maybe your mind and heart have been at odds. So really bringing those two things into a deeper alignment, right? Maybe putting a little bit of an end to that sacrifice mode. Sometimes we do things we feel like we have to do, and that is a story that we have sort of created for ourselves. I think I've said this in a reading recently, right? Who are you making decisions for? Of course, if you have close relationships, we always have to consider other people, right? Those are really important people, experiences, things that we want and need in our lives. But just remembering that, you know, making decisions for yourself is important. Your needs are important. Right? So if you're always putting yourself last on that list, when is it actually time for you to go first? Right? Have you convinced yourself that it's always got to be someone else first? That can definitely be easy to do if you are a parent if you take care of somebody. Right? A lot of people grew up even as young children having to take care of people right away, so that could even be a message, right? That's your job and you have to take care of everyone around you, and sometimes it can be easy to neglect yourself, or you start to sacrifice your own wants, your own desires, the own things you want to fill up your life with for everyone else. So definitely bringing in that balance. That's something else I had noticed right away on this curse card as well. Up at the top here, up by her head, it looks like a little heart. I don't really know if you can see that. And so there's a little heart kind of right up here. So again, getting those things more cohesive, more coherent. And then I wanted to read, let's see, what did I flag here? Out of Pachamama, I believe. Yeah. I'll read the medicine since it's reversed. It kind of gives different insight to the card. I also stuck a Archangel Michael card in there. But I did, as I pulled these this morning, I like to kind of read through all the books as I'm, sipping my coffee or whatever I'm having, and just take a little bit of time with it before we get into it here. And this one had me tear up. What was it? Oh yeah, your heart is the only offering you can bring. Right, so just keeping that in mind, really at the end of the day, that is all we really get to take with us. So have you made that a priority? How have you treated that? Okay, let's see what we've got here for the medicine with Pachamama. You still believe that you have been cast out of the Garden of Eden, that you are motherless and homeless. You suppose that you need to work very hard to survive or thrive. It is time to stop suffering. Let go of that old myth and realize you were given the garden to rejoice in and to become its steward. Your melancholy is really a longing to return to the heart of Pachamama. Listen deeply to the mother who is always there for you. Walk in beauty and honor all life. All right, so I really love that message. Like I said, do something nice for the outside, do something nice for yourself. This card also with the medicine, sort of tying into what we were speaking about with the curse card as well. Some of those old myths you may have, right? Like work has to be hard to be successful, or that success is only correlated with work and money. Right? Or that maybe you have to take care of everybody. It just really depends on kind of what messages, and maybe these weren't even direct messages from people, right? But maybe consistent, sort of indirect, just comments, messages, the way that you grew up with your experience. So letting go of those old myths. All right, I love that. Okay, let's see what's on Archangel Michael. Ooh, sense of humor. Let's see here. Thank you for helping me see the humor in this situation so I can lovingly laugh at human nature. I am willing to view my experience in a new light in order to attract love and healing energy. I just said this earlier today to somebody. Laughter is the best medicine. All right, not everything has to be so super serious all of the time. Sometimes we can make things that way in our heads. So again, getting more in your heart, getting a little more lighthearted, having a little bit of fun. Especially if you do take some of those deeper dives and do some of that sort of either shadow work, healing work, anything like that, right? That can get really heavy. It can be really intense. There's also just been a lot of really intense, I don't know, feeling energy like pressure lately. I don't know if anyone else out there has experienced that as well. All right, and then the crystal card today. I forgot to grab my piece. I do have a piece of this. It's kyanite. Right, the main message is deepen your perspective. Let's see here. Who needs it? The perpetually restless. All right, and that can be associated with Gemini energy, a little bit of restlessness, a little bit of hard making choice energy. Can be easy to maybe go back and forth there. So really getting in touch, in line with the heart space. Meditation coming through as well. All right, when to use it. When you find yourself drowned out by that mental noise. Even the greatest thinkers need to be reminded. Thoughts are thoughts, reality is reality. You can deal with it like an anxious chihuahua, or you can get down with kyanite and align to the moment with your calm and cool intact. All right, so kyanite, deepen your perspective, especially if you are doing a little bit of that either soul searching or just a closer look at some of your habits, patterns, actions. Especially if you feel this sacrifice energy or feel this sort of stuck, sort of this is the hand I've been dealt, there's nothing I can do sort of energy. Communication is really important. Maybe taking that hand away from your mouth and allowing yourself to speak. That's where healing can start, when you're able to share and express yourself in a true and authentic way. But maybe this is something that you can bring in a little bit of humor with, even if that's just with yourself and in your own mind. I'm usually the first person to probably laugh at myself, and sometimes even looking back on something that might have been upsetting, you can kind of find those humorous moments or the parts where you found some joy. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's do animal spirit. We'll add to it. So raccoon from last week, letting go. And that has come out, I think it was in December, I was looking back. Raccoon and the I Think card came out together. So I don't know, maybe there's something you've been thinking about for a couple months, or that you really have been feeling like you've been restricted or holding yourself back. Maybe you've spent a little bit of time on healing and getting more in touch. I've done a lot of work like that myself. All right, let's see who wants to join out of spirit animal. Butterflies coming out again this week as well. So another sign or synchronicity if you see butterflies anywhere. I've been seeing a lot of blue, specifically blue butterflies on things. Not outside, not quite yet where I am. Although I do see a little fly actually. This card has a yellow butterfly. I don't know if you've seen any. Oh, we've got two butterflies. You let me know you have what color they are at the bottom of the deck. Coyote, playfulness, just what Archangel Michael was trying to tell us about as well. All right, so antelope and jaguar. I feel like these are kind of opposite animals. Decisive action and growth. I know we have seen both of these animals, jaguar quite recently. I'd have to pop back into my notebook to see when antelope came out as well. And I know we had a dual card when that came out. All right, let's see here. Antelope, decisive action. You are being told unequivocally that it's time to get moving. Set your intentions and take action toward making your dreams a reality. You have a door in front of you. Trust your instincts here. I love that. So I know last week the affirmation was, I am inspired. So I don't know if you felt inspired to take any action or move forward, or maybe you are still in a little bit of this stuck energy. All right, but sometimes action forward, trying something different or new, again, maybe with some sort of expression, regardless of if you don't know what the outcome is going to be, that still can just help you grow, at least in your heart space, at least in your confidence, even when things don't always work out the way that you really had hoped. I've had that happen before. I've put myself out there for various things and it didn't quite turn out the way that I really thought it was going to, or that I maybe really had wanted it to, had hoped it was going to. But there still is an ability to be proud of yourself there. There is growth there, right? You can survive those things even if you do experience, rejection, hurt, pain, right? Those aren't easy feelings to go through and be with, but there is growth available there. Okay. Jaguar, growth. Maturity is the ability to embrace change, and change cannot happen without death. This death does not necessarily mean physical death, but could be the ending of a relationship, a situation, or simply your decision to not continue with the same old habits. Yeah, this message has been coming out a lot lately. So I don't know if there is some sort of ending or new beginning, or maybe it's both at the same time. All right, let's see here. Let's add some tarot to it. I was going to use the wizard deck, but I think I want to use this one. Let's see here. We got love. The love card sticking out. So heart energy, very prominent. It comes out quite often in a lot of the readings. Really, because following your heart is important. The more I have done that and tried different things, even when it's been scary, I really just feel like my life has improved. Right, overall, if I look back 5, 6, 10 years, right, I feel like quite a different person now than I was then. All right, let's see here. So power, 4 of discs. So this is 4 of pentacles. So remembering that you do have power, especially if you feel stuck. That is some sort of an illusion, some sort of story you can work to let go of and start to take action in a different way. Tap into your own power, right? Deepen your understanding of maybe where some of your fear comes to move forward in different ways. All right, let's see what else wants to come out here. All right, we got another 4. 4 of Wands, completion. Somewhat reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune a little bit, just because of that circle. It looks like some sort of wheel with all those spokes. You can see different animals on there. What do we got? Rams, some sort of bird, maybe some sort of dove or falcon, and then some flames there with the wands. So with that 4 of discs, which can also be being stuck, being a little stagnant. On that other side, again, tapping into your power. The 4 of Wands is taking some sort of action. This can also be celebrating a little bit more. All right, so as we were talking about finding maybe a little bit more sense of humor, Coyote popped out at the bottom to remind us to be playful. And finding maybe a little celebration with something. Once you take some sort of action. All right, let's see. I just saw the High Priestess there. So tapping more into your intuition. As I was mentioning earlier about like, who do you make decisions for? Is it only for yourself, or do you do things because that's what your parents wanted you to do? Or do you do things because people won't think you're too weird, so you don't really act in the way that you had wanted for fear of, again, maybe it's rejection, being made fun of, people not liking you, people being disappointed, all those sorts of things. So tapping into your power, taking some sort of action. I just see that sort of charging or skipping forward with a little more fire in your belly, a little more confidence. Let's see, what do we have here? Ooh, the Hierophant. Okay, so this can be about a teacher. This can be also about that sort of traditional energy, right? So if that is something where you are feeling like you are maybe stuck or held back by tradition, or maybe you're doing things because that's what, again, like we were saying, what you're supposed to do, instead of maybe what you want to do and what might make your life fulfilling. All right, you do have some blessings coming in and definitely healing, right? He's also holding this big ass key, right? So you do have the key to your future. It's not your grandparents or your parents, it's not your friends, it's not your kids, right? These people add to our lives, can be super important. Again, depending on your experience and your situation, but ultimately you do hold the key. You are the decision maker, right? So getting your heart and your mind in the same place, getting them lined up, taking action for your heart so you can find growth. Notice how things get lighter when you're able to do that. There's more celebration, there's more humor, right? It gets less serious, less heavy, less sad, less angry. Instead of feeling sacrifice in a way that is negative and that you've given up everything, right? Seeing that in this more freeing way. Again, your heart is the only offer that you will be able to bring with you. All right, so just noticing where you land there with that tradition and, right, what you want. Do those things blend? Or maybe there's things you can take from tradition and ancestors and bring that with you, right? Possibly religion could be playing into it. Maybe checking in more with your spirituality, right? Versus necessarily maybe some sort of structured or, again, kind of passed down information. That is very important. But again, making sure everything that you're practicing and preaching actually really resonates with you and makes sense with you. And I know I'm always kind of tapping my heart, talking about the heart space. Yeah, with strife at the bottom of the deck. All right, let's get one more here. Let's see, 6 of Swords, science. All right, so the 6 of Swords, it looks like there's been a lot of chaos energy in the background, which we've kind of been talking about. So I don't know if that's just in your head, especially if you have been holding yourself back, keeping yourself, you know, stuck in a pattern, a story, a situation, some sort of structure, right? It's time to sort of break free out of that. Instead of letting all of that sort of chaos, and maybe it's communication, your own thoughts. It could be sort of noise from the external world. I forget which card that came up in. And really tuning that out, and instead just getting all of your thoughts more organized, more in line. Right, getting a little more in touch with your logic. Logic doesn't always have to be just your brain, right? Because you also get signals from your body. You also get signals from your intuition, right? Your heart has a frequency, right? All of this, once it gets coherent, that's when you are allowed to kind of move forward, make better choices, maybe move in ways that start to unfold your life in just a more exciting, celebratory, positive way, right? You may meet some new people that kind of brighten or lighten your load or bring in a little bit of fun, right? Because maybe you, again, take a different action, try something new. Right? But that all starts kind of here in the center, right, with that examination and setting some of those old things that you've been chained to free, aligning your head and your heart, and using your own logic versus the logic of others as you move forward and make decisions, right? Because you've got blessings on the way and healing is available, right? But you're in charge of all of this. Okay. All right, let's see here. I feel like this was a little bit of a long reading, but let's get one more card. Why not? Because I want to get an angel tarot out to add to it before we close it out. I don't want to forget. Forget about a helpful angel to call on for the week. Because again, last week felt really good, really inspired, really lighthearted. This has a lot of the same energy, but maybe there's just some apprehension around it, a little bit of fear, just a little bit more heaviness or pressure, again, to this. All right, let's see, which angel Angel Tarot wants to join in to help us close this out and come up with the affirmation for the week. I knew that was going to come out. The Fool at the bottom of the deck. So as I've been saying, taking something new. Maybe check out the Mind, Body, Spirit reading I just did. That also was all about the heart. We had 2 Fool cards come out in that reading. But back to this, the Lovers, Haniel, joy of God. Joy and pleasure brings happiness to couples, removes negative energy. So just another confirmation with aligning your head and your heart, right? Taking that decisive action to grow towards abundance, to grow towards celebration, to start to move in a way that feels good to you, so you can start to find your blessings and start to just really feel aligned between your mind, body, spirit as you start to get your own logic in order in lieu of others. So the Lovers card coming out today, Haniel. All right, joy and pleasure, removing negativity, getting out of the heavy energy, moving towards your joy. All right, let's set the affirmation. Let's see. What do you think? Also, big full moon this week. Full moon in, is it Virgo? I think so. Full moon in Virgo this week. So maybe that's where some of this energy is coming from. Maybe something will be illuminated then. Okay, let's focus. Back to setting the affirmation for the week. I don't know, what do you think? I'm thinking I deserve happiness. What do you think about that one? I deserve happiness. You deserve happiness. We all definitely deserve happiness. So what can you do this week, especially with this Lovers energy coming out, this communication energy coming out? So making your heart space and your head space, getting those in line, making that definitely a priority. But what can you do this week to feel a little bit more love, feel a little bit more fun, feel happy, right? Even if you do have some heavy energies going on, heavy situations or things that you need to deal with or take care of, or just something that has been maybe putting pressure on you or weighing you down, right? How can you bring in more joy? How can you remind yourself, right, that you do not have to sacrifice your happiness, right? This is your experience, your life. That is super mission critical, right? That's where you find more of that mind, body, heart, soul, right? Cohesiveness, all that logic comes together. Manifesting starts to feel more like a science, right? With that 6 of Swords as you walk towards your happiness. Okay. Awesome. All right. So find something you can do this week to make yourself happy. And then maybe you do something wonderful for your environment, for the earth this week. Take extra special care of not only your own environment, but Mother Earth. And then if you're really feeling up for it, right? Maybe you do something nice for someone else too and spread a little bit of that happiness, share the energy you want to get back. Okay. That is the message today. That is the reading, ending it on a much more upbeat note. Let's shift our energy, shift our focus, move towards happiness. What do you think? I deserve happiness. All right, that's what we've got. And until next time, peace.